Good afternoon to everybody who was able to join us in this meeting. Today, we will be discussing our monitoring and evaluation framework on mental and physical wellness initiatives. With me, I have Jude Busby and Chad Jones. I am Leo Chimbea. Thank you for being with us today. The first concept we will be discussing is our background and context. According to a World Health Organization in 2025, higher education settings create severe time limits, lifestyle difficulties, and academic pressure, which are all detrimental to physical and mental health. The initiative establishes a culture that values well-being, promotes healthy choices, and helps individuals manage stress effectively, according to Patton, dated in 2015. The goal is to establish a structure that a culture that places a high value on mental wellness days, physical wellness days, holistic programs, work-life balance workshops, and as well as supportive campus environments. What is the MEF? The Monitoring and Evaluation Framework is a systematic approach to assessing the initiative's impact, efficacy, and efficiency. Monitoring tracks program activities such as attendance and participation, as well as evaluation measure outcomes such as well-being, physical activity, and time management, according to Cresswell 2018. Monitoring and evaluation are conducted to ensure the program is accountable, grounded in evidence, and continuously improving. The way we can ensure for accountability is by taking evidence-based decisions and making evidence-based decisions for the ETA stakeholders. Validity and reliability can be assessed through data reflections, through our program's true impact. And the way we can ensure continuous improvement is by taking on guides that help the future's program enhancements.
So our seven-step MEF design. Step one, we have to identify our goals, which is to improve mental health and physical activity at ETA. Step two, create indicators. This is our WEM-WBS scores, track attendance and stress assessments. Step three, select methods. So this could include surveys, focus groups, and registers, as well as observations. Step four, determine a baseline. We'll measure well-being before our program even begins. Step five, to monitor, which is we track participation throughout. Step six, evaluate. This is to analyze success at mid-year and year-end. And our last step is to find findings with ETA stakeholders, which is our report.
Thank you very much, June. That was very well said. Okay. Now we'll be talking about the monitoring and evaluation cycle and the theory of change. So here to your right, you'll see this is the monitoring and evaluation cycle that we have. Firstly, it starts off with planning, in which we define activities and targets. Then number two, we have implementation, where we deliver sessions and workshops. Number three, we collect attendance and data through monitoring. Number four, evaluation, where we analyze against baseline data. Okay. Then number five, we will present to stakeholders. And lastly, number six, learning and adaptation, where we improve from the next cycle. The continuous M&E cycle is a repetitive or a repeating cycle of planning, implementation, monitoring, evaluation, reporting, and learning that ensures ongoing program improvement, which was stated by Patton in 2015. The planning tool for behavior change intervention. Here you'll see we have the components, the descriptions, and the ETA Wellness Initiative application. So firstly, we started with the inputs. This would be the resources invested in the program. And for example, you'll see there are staff time, venue space, budget, materials, and facilitators. Next, we have activities. So what does this program do? Here you'll see we will host mental wellness days, physical wellness days, holistic wellness programs, work-life balance workshops as well. Then we have our outputs. This will be direct product of activities. And for example, this will be through number of sessions delivered, participants reached, and surveys completed. Outcomes: short, medium-term changes in participants. This will be through improved well-being scores, increased physical activity, and better stress management. Then lastly, we have our impact. This will be long-term change in the community. So for example, a healthier, more productive ETA campus. The theory of change model was primarily, never said word. The theory of change model was selected because it provides a logical and transparent change of evidence linking program activities to intended outcomes, which is critical for institutional accountability and stakeholder reporting.
For challenges of implementing the MEF, first we start with low engagement. So this is staff and students may lack time or willingness to participate consistently. Next, we have our data limitations. So this is self-reported metrics, which is stress and well-being, can be subjective, affecting reliability. No. Then we have resource constraints, insufficient funding, personnel, or facilities may hamper implementation. Then we have sustainability. Without institutional buy-in, continuation beyond the evaluation period is uncertain. And then lastly, for ethical considerations, sensitive mental health data requires strict informed consent and confidentiality.
Next, we will be touching on the logical framework or the log frame. The log frame is recommended as the primary evaluative framework, a structured metrics linking goals, outputs, and activities to measurable indicators. We have organized it into levels, summary, indicators, and means of verification. So the first level would be the goals or the impact. A basic summary of our goals is that we would like to improve the well-being at ETA, at the ETA campus across all students. The indicators that we will be using to achieve this goal is by sustaining the WEM, WBS improvement over the next 2 years. The means of verification we will be using is annual evaluation reports, just getting basic feedback on whether we are making an impact. The next level will be the purpose, which is finding the outcome. The summary of the purpose would be to improve mental and physical well-being throughout the campus. The indicators we'll be using 10% better on well-being scores, as well as 20% more on their physical activity, really showing that while they are getting fit, their mental well-being is also improving because if you feel good, you will, of course, perform even better. And the means of verification, pre and post survey attendance data, that is how we will be collecting that. The outputs, summary of our outputs, wellness sessions delivered, as well as surveys completed, minimum 2 wellness days semesters with 70% survey responses. And means of verification will be through registration and as well as Google Forms, hoping we get a good amount of feedback. As we said, 70% response from the surveys. And the last level is the activities. Deliver wellness days, workshops, and campus support. The indicators that we'd like to implement for this is activities delivered per schedule. So keeping on track with the wellness days and the workshops, we hope to keep those on schedule with the indicators. And the means of verification that we will be tackling that with is through program schedules and session reports.
Next, we'll be talking about this methodology and data collection methods. So the scope, this covers all 5 programs areas at ETA campus over one academic year, with mid-year and end-of-year reviews. Targets all registered students and full-time staff. So for our research design, this will be a pragmatic diagram using mixed methods. So for example, quantitative data will include attendance and WEM, WBS scores, while qualitative data will include focus groups, as well as open-ended surveys, survey questions. Then we move on to data collection methods. So firstly, for online services, this will be at baseline, mid-year, and year-end using WEM, WBS, and Likert scales. Focus group discussions. There will be 3 focus group discussions, including students, academic staff, and admin, where we will have about 6 to 8 participants each time. Then we have attendance registers. This will be sign-in data in participation rates over time. And lastly, we have structured observations. This will be quality of delivery and participant engagement, which will be assessed.
Next, we will be tackling on the quality indicators and team roles. So we have broken this down into 3 components: the outcomes, the target, and the tools. Improved mental well-being is one of the outcomes we hope to achieve. The target for that is 10% WEM, WBS improvements. The tools that we will be using to achieve this is by using surveys based on the responses and the feedback that we receive. The next outcome is the increased physical activity by 20% increase from the baseline, so from when they started. And we hope to see if from the responses in the feedback, which is another tool that we were going to be using, from the responses and the feedback, if they do see an increase of 20% from the baseline. The next outcome is better stress management, hopefully by 25% increase from their original baseline. The tool we will be implementing is, again, a survey. Program satisfaction increase roughly by 75%, and for a rating, hopefully a 4 to 5 out of 5, implementing a survey again just to get those responses. And the final outcome is sustained engagement. So hoping to keep people in or have a higher return rate of roughly more than 50% using registration, and keeping track of the people that come for the program. So the team roles that we will all be assigned with, I myself, Neo, will take project lead and as well as data analyst, overseeing the MEF and lead head analysis of the final report as well. Jude will be taking on the methodology and data collection as well as designing surveys, facilitating the FGDs, and as well as manage the registration. And Chad will be on the stakeholder communication as well as reporting to the said stakeholders and compiling the findings, presentations, and the referencing. And as you can see at the bottom, we have an estimated amount for our budget at 8,530, primarily from human resources time, free digital tools such as Google Forms and Sheets, and minimizing our direct costs in the process.
Then our last slide, data management and key takeaways. So our data flow, we're looking at collection, sorting and coding, secure storage, analysis, and reporting. All data stored on password-protected Google Drive. Identifiers removed for anonymity. Then our recommended tools, we want to use Google Forms for our surveys, Cobalt Toolbox for offline M&E, Excel sheets for analysis, in vivo / atlas.tia for our qualitative coding, and then Canva and PowerPoint for our reporting. In summary, this MEF provides a rigorous, evidence-based framework grounded in theory of change and log frame. This is to evaluate, improve, and sustain the ETA Wellness Initiative for lasting campus impact.
Thank you to all that joined. Before we close off, is there any questions from you guys that you would like to ask before we finish off?
Yeah. I just want to know what inspired like
Yes,
the
Chanda Chimbe.
I would just like to know what inspired the logo. Yeah.
Pardon?
Like what is the inspiration behind the logo?
So the logo, for the logo, since we are talking about mental and physical wellness initiatives, we wanted to implement something that really touches upon the head of the topic. Something that was minimal but got straight to the point. So the person in a yoga position symbolizes the mental well-being in a state of meditation, a state of peace, and the person running symbolizes the physical wellness, staying healthy, and how they really co-align is that at the end of the day you just want to do better for yourself in all aspects.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Another question. On slide 9, what makes up the total of 8,530?
So the total of 8,530 was just a budget that we drew up that is consisting of the monitoring and evaluation activities and the things that we will be implementing throughout this program. So the first one is obviously the survey designing and as well as the printing. That would cost us roughly around 800 to do. Designing the paper as well as the questionnaires, printing them out, and yeah, so we had that roughly drawn up to 800 Rand. The next amount we had drawn up was the online survey platform. Yes, a lot of them are relatively free, like Google Forms. But if we were to span to other websites, like for example, SurveyMonkey, where you do need to pay a subscription, we're looking at roughly 500 a month, just to be able to use their services. The next one is the focus group facilitation. So that would be getting the venue, having refreshments and snacks for the people because we can't not feed them after having them come all this way to attend our session, as well as the facilitator time. Since we are hoping to implement this among like 3 sessions, we're looking at roughly 3,000 Rand. So 1,000 Rand per session, but the estimated cost being 3,000. The next is the data capture analysis, um, using staff time for capturing and analyzing the data. We're looking at roughly 10 hours because data is a hefty thing to handle with. So looking at staff time and paying people, we're looking at roughly 2,500 Rand for that. Um, the next thing we had to look at was the reporting and presentation. And that would take up staff time. That would also take up compiling and presenting the findings for the stakeholders, roughly 1,000 Rand. And I think the last thing we took was just a contingency plan of 10%, for unseen costs, because you never know what might pop up. So we have that calculated at like 730 in case, like just in case money, just in case something does go wrong, we do have money set aside for certain situations.
Okay, 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 okay. And just last question. For ethical considerations, how would you protect the person's information?
So the way we hope to protect the person's information is by keeping all the information anonymous. So we would keep all the information in a password encrypted system, which will only be accessible by us three members in this call who are hosting. And we would keep all the names anonymous. We wouldn't have names, we wouldn't have ages, we would just keep people by code, just to protect their information at the end of the day, and ensuring that if it does get leaked, they are not seen, they are not known by the public. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much to everybody who joined. We hope you were all well informed of our project, and we thank you all for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.